Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. We are brought to you by Joe's Underground in Augusta, Georgia, at the corner of 8th and Broad in the bottom of the Lamar building. Just a walk down a short flight of stairs. Jeremy and the guys are right now just kind of sitting back and waiting for this pandemic to blow over and going to reopen soon, hopefully. Hopefully, going to be one hell of a party down there at Joe's. I know I want to go, and I'm ready to go. And when they open back up, I'm gonna go because I goes to Joe's, and so should you. The corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia. Today, my guest is a man that many of you know. Great character actor, great musician, just a great guy all around. You may remember him from the Blues Brothers. He is Murphy Dunne. So, without further ado, let's kick this thing off. Hey, how you doing today, Murphy?
I'm delightful. Thank you for allowing me to join you today.
Oh, thank you for coming on, man. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. How you holding up during this virus that's attacking the world?
I am working my tail off and staying secluded at the same time. I'm a paramedic full time, so I actually get to
Oh,
go to work
wonderful.
tonight.
Wonderful news. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for what you do.
You're very, very welcome. Almost 30 years in the business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet you've got some stories.
Oh man, I got stuff people would not believe if I told them. Oh yeah. But now when I come home, I come down here to the studio. I've got a air mattress set up down here, and pretty much I stay away from the family as much as I can, just because we're so high risk, because of being a paramedic.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't think of that.
but
Right.
on the upside, I've got a boatload of recording done. So,
Oh, great. Wonderful. You probably write a nice audio book too.
oh yeah, I'm working on recording a radio play for one of my doctors. He's a author and he does
Good.
thrillers, and I'm sitting here. I'm actually I hate to say rewriting, but I'm more adapting his book to the radio play thing.
Oh,
That's going to be
wonderful.
interesting. So I'm doing about 90% of the voices.
Oh, well, terrific. That's terrific. Do you listen to books on tape or Audible?
I have started to fairly recently. I hadn't before, but I've got about an hour drive to work, so I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm getting there.
Great. I just started. I'm a fan of spy stuff, and there's a guy named John Le Carre who did a lot of spy that came in from the cold. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He's a former British member of Secret Service, and he's so I've listened to 14 hours during this coronavirus.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's fun.
it is because it's kind of like I say, it reminds me of the old radio plays where tune in next week to find out, and to me that's really cool.
Yeah, it is for me, and I like what people in the film business call Foley, which is all the sound effects of foot foot pads and horses and cars and all that stuff. And
Yeah, and I'm
I like,
looking forward to doing that on this thing.
oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Now, if you like the spy stuff, I just had a guy on here named Neil Perry Gordon
I've
who
heard the name.
he has just come out with a book that's called The Bomb Squad, and it's a kind of
Oh,
right before World War One, and
really? Huh?
it's a pretty cool book.
Great.
I'll send you his email, and you can actually email him, and he'll send you a free copy in exchange for a good, bad, or ugly review on Amazon. So
Okay. I don't know anybody who wants a bad review.
yeah, you ain't kidding. You
I
ain't
don't
kidding.
want one. I got a bad one once. I've had I've been blessed with a couple of good ones, in newspapers and things
Hmm.
regarding films that I've been in. But the LA Weekly, I did this one person show, just an hour and 45 minutes of me, which was about an hour and 44 minutes too long. And the LA Weekly said that I was as exciting as a Q tip.
Well, that was awful sweet of him. Oh
Well,
man,
Q tips come in handy sometimes.
definitely.
They do. I got a big laugh out of it now. But when I got it, I wasn't particularly thrilled. Got
Yeah.
a laugh.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say never read comments or reviews, and it's funny. I've got a YouTube channel that I do different characters on, just little things off the top of my head. I've got some different wigs and stuff. I'll do a character, and there's one I have who is a clown, but he's not a normal clown. He is probably the worst clown to ever walk the face of the earth. His
Uh huh.
name's Murray, and this is Murray's voice. He
Ah.
is he is horrible, but he's such fun to do. And I was looking at my YouTube channel one day to see how many hits it had, and somebody had put a thumbs down, and I
Oh
took that
no.
so personally. I'm like, idiot! It's somebody hit a thumbs down. Yeehaw! But it was so funny because I took that just, oh man, that made me so mad. I'm like, who don't like
Yeah,
Murray?
I know. It happens that way. It's kind of like getting rejected from a loved one
Exactly.
or a former loved one, either one.
Yeah.
The way it goes. What part of the planet are you on right
I
now?
am in Georgia, just south of Atlanta.
Oh, really? How's your weather there?
Uh, I tell you, it's like the people aren't the only ones in the inside drinking beer right now. I think Mother Nature is too.
Ah,
Because one minute it's hot, the next minute it's pretty chilly outside, beautiful sunny day, and all of a sudden we've got tornadoes. And
wow.
Mother Nature is drunk in the South, Bubba.
Well,
Oh,
it's one of those things. I think it's probably because we're not driving enough,
mm,
so there's not enough smog, and Mother Nature's doing us to remind us what it's like to be clean. I remember a former mayor of New York said he didn't trust any air he couldn't see.
nice,
But
nice.
I'm just watching the morning shows, and they showed cities, especially in places like India, where you could see a 3 4 feet in front of you on a normal day, and now because people are staying at home, you get a chance to see the beautiful architecture and castles and things of that nature.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely been different since all this. You can tell a big
Yes,
difference.
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm
And
seeing more
they
animals, more deer
yep,
running
that's
out,
what they
and
say.
yeah.
And they showed pictures of the deer and goats in metropolitan areas.
Oh man, that's something I haven't smoked yet. It's a goat. I've had
I
barbecue
don't.
goat, but I've never
Yeah,
done one.
they. I hear in Jamaica it's a big deal. I mean, a person will pull up and open their trunk, and out will hop a goat, and so, well, here's lunch.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just never been into goat. Oh, I've never tasted it. It just seems a little weird for a city boy.
I understand. I understand. The first time I had it was actually a Jamaican guy. Was at my friend's house next door, and they spent all night cooking this thing. And they brought some over to my house when me and my mom were there when I was younger, and
Hmm.
said, "You got to try this." And to be nice, I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." Man, next time they went over there to do a goat, I was out helping them dig the hole to cook this goat in. It was
Oh,
amazing. I couldn't believe it.
really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I like Kahlua pork, and they dig a hole for that.
Oh yeah. No, I love any kind of smoked meat, which I'm almost 300 pounds. There ain't a whole lot that I don't like. So,
Oh, good for you. Good for you, as long as you're happy.
oh man, I'm working on getting it out of there though, most definitely. But
Well, whatever works.
yeah,
You know that. So, what do you do for fun down there besides working a dangerous profession?
yeah. Well, I do a little bit of everything. Like I said, I do the YouTube videos. I've got different characters I'm doing. I've been a stand-up comic for almost 30 years. Uh,
Uh,
Never really got big. Just always did it just to have fun. Have had one
sure.
have had one paying show, and that was a hilarious night. If there's ever a movie made of that night, I believe Ben Stiller will be in it. That's how it kind of went.
Uh huh.
Uh,
Oh, great.
like I said, I do my YouTube videos. I'm kind of wanting to break into acting a little bit. I'm a little old
Mm-hmm.
to start, but I mean a lot of people have gotten an older start.
Sure.
I'm almost 50 years
Absolutely.
old now, but hey,
Well, I still get work, and I'm 78. So,
you're Murph.
yeah, I'm still
You,
on the
you
planet.
you'll always get work. You're Murph. And I
Well,
tell
I do
you,
get a job occasionally, and I'll be on the set of a movie or something, and someone will say, I know who you are, and I said, well, that's one of us.
yeah,
But then they'll go around and tell them people want autographs and things like that. It surprises me how I work with a band called the Original Blues Brothers Band with some of the living members of the original band. Steve Cropper and
mm-hmm.
Lulu Marini and Tom Bones Malone. And when we go to and we typically play in Europe, of course that'll take a while to get back up,
Yeah,
but the people are so energetic about autographs. I'm just wondering if they're selling them on YouTube, not YouTube, on eBay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how old I am. And in Germany, the people were lined up, and it just shocked me.
I tell you,
And they had pictures and the whole thing. I get a lot of fan mail where uh, they want me to put in the picture and the stamps.
well, that's awful sweet of
I'm,
them.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Uh, you
that'd
got
be
to.
like me calling you and saying, I would like Jim or Dan Aykroyd's hat from the movie signed by you.
Yeah,
By the way, can you
yeah,
get me the hat?
yeah, yeah. And I need to wear it at a party. Could you get it here by tomorrow?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
No, and that's one thing. I know it's old hat to you. No pun intended. But the Blues Brothers just it's such a part of. I can't really describe it. It's a part of everybody. That
Yeah, it's a part of America's culture, and
yeah,
like Happy Birthday to You, and uh, the flags of different nations. Uh, I've had some wonderful occurrences in my life. So many years after, a person will just stop me on the street and go, "Oh my God," and I said, "Oh, what is it?" Anyway, we one of our neighbors had a situation where the police had to be called. Somebody was drunk and knocking on their door, and we went out, and a policeman came over. He says, "I know you. I know you." And I said, "Okay, so you don't get the wrong idea. Are you a Blues Brothers fan?" He said, "That's where it was." And you're glad when that happens.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
definitely. I
throwing
mean,
into the
I
police.
remember, the tux that you were wearing when they came to the lounge to get you. That was classic. That was the lounge act, and that was just so beautiful.
Well, it's funny thing when I first started with the original Blues Brothers band in where was it? It was in France, uh, Nice. It was in Nice, France, and they brought with them a large orange shag carpet they could put over my keyboard, just
Nice,
like back in the days. It was a lot
outstanding.
of fun making that movie.
Oh man, I could just imagine just being near it. I mean, just so much talent there. I mean, everybody just it was the best of the best in that movie with everything.
Yeah, it was great. I remember John Landis, the director,
Mm.
who John Belushi had asked him. He said, "Listen, give John Candy. He's struggling. He because we all work at Second City."
Mm.
He said, "Give John Candy a little something to do," and Landis said to me, he said, "I gave him a job. And now look," he said, "he's got a huge career." When he was alive, of course, but
Yeah,
and all of our careers kind of go downhill when we're not here on the planet.
yeah. But I tell you, that was just and I loved that story. I'd never heard that, and it's such a wonderful. I love when people help each other in general, but especially entertainers, because a lot of
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
I've seen this in stand up. A lot of people almost see it as a competition. Why should I help this guy? He may be headlining over me one day or something.
sure,
You
sure.
gotta help
Have you
people.
have you seen a stand-up comedian named Sebastian Maniscalco?
I have not, but I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah, he's a big. He is the number one entertainer draw in the world. right now. Well, not during the crisis, but
Yeah.
I saw him at the what was it? Oh, I think it was the Sony Center. But anyway, many thousands of people. He's played huge venues, 15, 20,000. He's very funny. Italian guy. He talks about his family. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Probably listen to
Very,
him on the way to work tonight.
yeah, you'll laugh.
Yeah, outstanding. Yeah, I make a joke about this pandemic. You know, they've got to where they don't want more than 10 people in a place at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Means with the way my comedy is, I can still do shows, and I might even sell one out.
If you tell your family.
Well, yeah, yeah, and they don't have something better to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny.
But yeah, you just
I
worked.
bet you enjoyed your talk with Larry Hank.
Oh man, Larry was awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. I
Yeah, he's
enjoyed
a
it a lot.
terrific guy.
I've gotten
Really
to meet
terrific.
so many neat people through this podcast that I would never know.
Right. Well, Larry is very recognizable
Definitely, he has got his own look for sure.
for
And
sure.
like I say,
I saw him in an episode of Barry, you know,
hmm
that, and he committed suicide in it. And he was just one. Well, every time I've seen Larry Hankin, I've seen how good he is. He's just terrific.
yeah, I never
One,
realized before I met him that he was Doobie in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that's one of my favorite characters of all time.
right. He is great. He's just one of a kind.
Definitely, and
I
that's
was
what I.
touring. I was touring with him or some other actors who come from the improvisational wing of entertainment,
hmm
and we had landed in New York, and I was going to stay at a hotel called the Edison, which is where Count Basie's band typically stayed, and it's a real old hotel with really deep tubs and kind of an interesting place.
hmm
And I said to Larry, I said, "Where are you going to stay?" And he said, "I think I'm going to stay at a flop house." I said, "A flop house? How? Talk to me." He said, "Well, I'm looking for a place that bums would go and hang out in the cheapest place I could find." And this was many years ago. I'm talking, 40
hmm
years ago. And I said, "What was your experience like?" He said, "Well, it was you went into what is a very high ceilinged place, and they have like uh, not cubby holes, but something the size of a large closet, and that's your room. And every morning at 6 o'clock, they ring a bell, and you have to get up, and there are no doors in the place, and you wave down this long hall, and that's how they know that you're alive."
Nice.
But he wanted the experience. I've never been tempted to try to have that experience.
Yeah, I've stayed in some bad hotels before, but I'm good on that one.
Yeah, well, I bet in your line of work, you've seen some fairly depressing lifestyles.
I definitely have. One thing that a lot of people don't think about during all this self quarantine and all this stuff is the homeless folks,
Yep.
and we see it a lot, and it's a sad situation. They a lot of times they'll call an ambulance and say my chest hurts because they know chest pain is gonna get you transported. It's gonna get you into the ER quicker, and you're gonna have to be watched for so long.
Right.
And it's sad, but that's a place to stay for a couple hours, and that really sucks because we're one of the richest countries in the world.
Yeah. Well, in Los Angeles, it's a huge problem,
Yeah.
and there are parts of downtown LA you have to make a decision whether you're going to step in human feces or on a syringe. And the hardest part is there's mental illness involved in the homeless component. I mean, and these people do not want to go into a shelter of any kind. They don't want to take a shower, and the city is stuck. They raised last year $1 billion to try to impact the problem, but I haven't seen any of the money being spent yet.
Yeah.
They're taking over abandoned hotels in Los Angeles to uh, to, to donate, in a sense, to the homeless, and I'm hoping that some of them will get used to that kind of lifestyle because they can't be on the street now, and they'll just sequester on a regular basis, and people will use the city will use those monies to feed them, and but I think the biggest problem is the mental illness that goes along with the drug addiction.
Yeah, in a lot of places, we've got
A lot of
shelters,
places.
and
San
if
Francisco is huge in this regard. It's impacting tourism in a huge way.
yeah, people want to go to shelters, and a lot of places won't let them come if they've been drinking or if they had used drugs and stuff
Right.
like that, and it's just, man, it's
Right.
rough. So they,
Yeah, it is rough. I thank God every day that I'm not part of it.
yeah, definitely. I'm blessed. We our income hadn't been affected by this thing, but everything else has. And I look out
Right.
there and I know people who aren't working right now that are about to lose a business over this thing, and
Sure.
it's
It happens.
it's horrible, but it is what it
Yep.
is.
Yep. I don't know what to do except to keep hopping on my prayer bones and say thanks every night and pray for better days.
Definitely, most definitely.
Who else do you have? Do you have any friends, other friends of Larry Hankin on your schedule, or
Uh,
did Steve Joyner put Carl Gottlieb on your
I
Rolodex?
I'm working on Carl right now. Um, I did Jack O'Halloran. He was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, he's a friend of Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did Robert Wool day before yesterday. That was such a fun conversation.
Oh, he's a funny guy.
Yeah, and what's funny when we got ready to do it, I told him, I said, call me at this time, and he called me, and I actually had to pause because I was watching Cobb before I talked to him, and that was funny. But we had a great conversation. I'm meeting so many great people through this. Steve is such a great guy. He has helped me out a lot. We're growing
Yes,
leaps and bounds.
he's a terrific man.
Yeah,
I really like him.
definitely. There's not a lot he could ask me to do that I would say no to. He is awesome.
Right. Well, that's great. I just got another phone call that I'm going to have to take.
All right.
I hope it will not impact your show, and I've given you enough of
Oh,
what's I can call my time.
oh, Murphy,
And
you've
you're
given me plenty.
and it was a delight to talk to you. And I wish you nothing but the best in your life, and stay safe, my brother.
You too, Murphy. You take care, brother, and keep tickling them ivories.
I surely will.
And y'all make
God bless.
sure hit Murphy up on Cameo.
Okay. Oh, great. Thank you. That'd be terrific.
All right. Take
All the
care.
best.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.